Billy Ray Turner. Good morning, sir. Hello, sir.
Billy Ray Turner is one of 2 accused killers in the murder of NBA star Lorenzen Wright.
The Los Angeles Clippers select Lorenzen Wright from the University of Memphis.
A first-round 7th overall draft pick in 1996, Wright went on to play 13 seasons in the NBA before retiring in 2010. Wright's body was discovered in these woods a few days after his mother reported him missing in July of 2010. According to the medical examiner, he had been shot multiple times, suffering gunshots to the head and chest. His 6'11" frame so decomposed, he weighed 57 pounds at autopsy.
Because he put it on me because he knew I was going to take care of him.
The mystery surrounding his death baffled investigators for years, until a break in the case led to this announcement in 2018.
This morning, the Shelby County Grand Jury indicted Billy R. Turner for the premeditated first-degree murder of Lorenzen Wright.
Turner wasn't the only suspect. Wright's ex-wife, Shira, was also indicted. In 2019, she pleaded guilty for her role in the murder and was sentenced to 30 years in prison. But Turner denies any involvement in Wright's death.
He wants, his day in court.
And so does Wright's mother.
I want a trial because I want to know everything.
Deborah Marion has been waiting more than a decade for answers, but the wait for justice has taken a toll. And at this hearing, she cannot contain her emotions.
How could you have murdered my son? That's what I need to know, just how.
The outburst prompts a sympathetic but stern rebuke from the judge.
Ms. Wright, I understand your pain. You're not doing a member of your son. Good. And you're not helping your son. You're not helping the administration of justice by engaging in that sort of an outburst. Do you have any questions, ma'am?
No, I told him what I want to say.
So please don't do that again.
Billy Ray Turner faces life in prison if he is convicted of first-degree murder.
Billy Ray Turner has maintained his innocence from the beginning. Jury selection beginning today. They're up and running in Tennessee, and they're looking at 1 to 2 days to pick a jury here. This is a case with a lot of issues in terms of pretrial publicity because the victim in this case was so well known in the Memphis community. He went to college there and then played professional basketball for the Grizzlies. Let's bring in Casey Early in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Eric Perrier is joining our conversation. He's in Davenport, Iowa. Good morning, Eric. Welcome. This case is one that the people in Memphis have been waiting for a very long time to develop or to bring some answers to what exactly happened and why to this individual that had such a impact on the local community during and after his NBA career. He was one of those guys you see at the Children's Hospital and was, always out there trying to help, doing his part, and he ends up dead. It's a heartbreaker. How does that factor into jury selection, which is taking place this morning, vetting it out? If you're a defense attorney or a prosecutor, what do you want to make sure you know from these prospective jurors?
Oh, yes, it's a difficult thing. Anytime you have such a high-profile crime, such a grisly crime, and have it happen to a beloved member of the community, jury selection is hard. You want to find a jury who's going to not know too much about the case, that's not going to already have preconceived notions. And so that voir dire process of questioning the jurors, figuring out what they know, what biases they have or don't have, it's so important. And so the prosecution and the defense both have their work cut out for them. Obviously a little harder on the defense side.
Lorenzen wife's mother, you see there, has been a mainstay in the courtroom for all of the pretrial hearings and for that guilty plea from his ex-wife, Shira. How important is her role, her potential testimony, Casey, to this case?
Her testimony will be very important, especially to the prosecution. Because, of course, she took this plea and admitted her involvement in planning and plotting this execution of her ex-husband. So we know there's motive. There was $1 million insurance policy that she had that should have gone to the 6 kids that they shared. But we also know that she was the ex-wife. So based on her testimony, that can provide the much-needed motive, which will also implicate the defendant in this case. So the prosecution will have an uphill battle, especially if she becomes a hostile witness and does not wish to testify on behalf of the prosecution. So we have to see how this plays out, but her testimony either way will be very important to secure the conviction for the defendant in this case.
Eric, this was a cold case for many years, and it was only broken open because another individual tipped off investigators. Jimmy Martin is the individual's name, and he has not been charged in this case, but he knew enough to take the investigation right to the gun in a lake in a rural area. His role is going to be key as well, and should we anticipate that the defense is going to point the finger at Mr. Martin to try to deflect blame here?
Oh, most definitely. They're going to point the finger anywhere they can. And when we have a case that sat cold for so long, only to later be broken open by that tip and the gun that was recovered, I think that will give the defense fertile ground there. Whether they're successful or not, I guess we will have to see.
Will Shara take the stand? That was the big question people have. Well, let's listen to a defense attorney's analysis on what we should expect at trial, whether or not the ex-wife will come in and take the stand.
To be frank, I don't want to go into one way or the other about what Shara will say or won't say, whether or not she'll testify and those types of things. But I will say this, we feel confident that everybody in the world other than Jimmy Martin will be without anything negative to say about Billy Turner.
Billy Turner was a deacon that was friends with Shara Wright. She pled guilty in 2019 for facilitating first-degree murder and was sentenced to 30 years. Will be eligible for parole in about 6 years from now. Casey, that soundbite, we talked about it last hour, it seems to, one listens to that and you think, okay, well, Turner's defense attorney believes that she is not a threat. Your thoughts?
Well, it appears so. And also, we know that you just stated that he was a deacon in the church. So perhaps this defendant does not have a previous criminal history. He was an upstanding member of society, very active in his community. So now you have the victim in this case that was very active in his community, started a nonprofit organization. And then you also have a defendant with no prior history, supposedly. So at this point, it'll all down to, again, the voir dire process, the jury selection process, which my colleague stated is the most important part of a jury trial. Because if you pick the wrong jurors in the beginning, you've lost your case. So you have to focus on those jurors that may not have a preconceived notion of this case and is willing to listen to the facts and evidence and be that fair and impartial juror.
Billy Ray Turner did have a criminal record to the point where when he was arrested in this case, he was in possession of a few firearms, and that landed him in prison. That's where he is now. He's serving time. He pled guilty on that charge, which is, of course, a lot less serious than the charge of murder, which he's facing now. But we'll watch it all play out. Again, jury selection beginning this morning in Memphis, Tennessee.